as a mechanism for belief in God. But an easy retort to that would be that someone could just come along and say, so what if the world is complex? What does that prove? How do we know that we just don't live? How do we just know that we don't live in a complex world?
How would we have gotten to this complex world?
By eventually building up in levels of
things don't, but we live in a world where things don't build up, where without intelligence things break down.
Well, that's where that's where chance comes into play. And if you have a million different combinations
but chance
that all happen, the most successful ones will repeat.
As Gerald Schroeder points out in his book, and this is an important point, he says it's theoretically possible. There is a chance that all the molecules in this catalog will all line up perfectly, and the catalog will spontaneously jump up in the air and come back down. But it won't, because things in which have infinitesimal odds, experience indicates that they don't happen. So the same thing is true about all those infinitesimally small odds which exist. And the truth is, in my opinion, what he said before, Mirsky, this is fellow Mirsky, who said that the stomach had to simultaneously produce acid and have the mucus to protect itself.
So the acid would be useless without the mucus is useless without the acid, they must have simultaneously developed. Okay, I can take that answer, but
what atheists have to do is they have to make up. If you look in New York Times or Wall Street Journal or any other secular newspaper science section, the nature is always a capital N, or evolution a capital E.
Has to have its own independent.
Right, because nature endowed, evolution endowed. What do you mean nature endowed, evolution endowed? Nature and evolution are not entities. They're a process which doesn't really exist, has never been proven. So therefore, it's extremely difficult position to take. The only way you can really be a true evolutionist is by suppressing the notion of the complexity of creation.
So another point Meir and I were discussing. What causes somebody to be a better person, and based on that, why doesn't everybody wear a white shirt, black pants, and if they do or if they don't, does it make them a better person or not?
Actually, the conversation was at yeshiva. Why shouldn't someone wear white and black?
Wearing white shirt and black pants certainly does not make a person a better person.
No.
What it does is that, these are the gang colors of the yeshiva world. Okay, so the reason.
No, I think it does make a person a better person.
Okay, well the topic we were discussing was why should someone wear white and black?
Wait, can I say something on
inside yeshiva? Why should someone who comes wear white and black is supposed to come in and wear casual and learn in yeshiva?
Because it's expressing your full integration into the society which is represented by the yeshiva.
So it's an axiom set by the yeshiva, which doesn't necessarily define a good person as such, but it just
defines affiliation,
and it enhances the yeshiva spirit. Or
what? Hopefully, for some people, it'll enhance their sense of mission and responsibility to maintain that mission.
So therefore, it will make them better people.
Yeah.
Well, therefore, will make them better people.
Yes.
Okay.
But it doesn't always work.
I didn't say that it works. I'm saying.
And a person can be a very good person if he doesn't wear white and black.
Sure. Here's the thing, though, Rabbi.
But Sean was waiting for you.
So, Rabbi, in truth,
I realize you think I'm going to let you ask a question tonight. You are so wrong. Yes.
What do you mean, Rabbi? I have a question.
No, I know. Keep it to yourself. Yes.
so the thing is that I believe that your student is wrong in principle. Because he said that after all said and done, you still have to have Emuna Peshuta, because these are only supports. I believe it's the opposite way, because your Emuna Peshuta, in order to stay as a Jew, has to be your beginning of which you start, and then your supports can help you form that and make it a real entity, and make it your way of life. Because pretty much every single support you've brought has its own holes, and one way or another can be shot through. And even if it's meshed together, well, there is an infinitesimally small chance that evolution can be there.
But only a person who's very, very stupid, will say that which is an infinitesimally small chance of happening.
But your other proofs as well. The Surah, we admit that there are times we've changed the Torah. There are different points at which we.
We never changed the Torah.
Nine psukim, we all agree that we were inserted or taken out.
The last 8 psukim?
Not the last.
Last 8.
There are other psukim as well that we say.
Didn't you say last time that whole paragraph's taken in now?
Yeah, so there's one opinion like that, but it's a minority opinion.
Okay, so if you go according to the minority of Jewish opinions regarding this Masorah, there are whole paragraphs that were taken out.
That doesn't matter, because as long as what's in there is authentic, it doesn't matter what's taken out.
Things were taken out, but nothing else was put in.
Well, once you say that things were taken out and put in, then when does it stop? When does it end?
Taken out is very different than put in.
No, well, you said there were things put in as well.
The 8 kings at the end of Parshas Vayeshev. So those are ones where if you want to make the case, you can make the case. It was self-evident that they were put in.
No, well, why is that self-evident? Why is it self-evident?
Because it says until a king stood in Israel.
Okay, but we have to come with the perception that it's not written by a man, it's written by God. And it's written by God. There is no concept of time.
What?
Well,
What?
see, that's the problem. The problem is...
If I wrote this, it's a problem. Because I couldn't say I wrote this 30,000 years ago when I'm saying something that happened only 10 years ago, right? So that's a problem. But if God writes it, He knows past, future, present, and everything. So what's stopping Him from writing this down?
So you're assuming that there's a God.
Yeah, you're right.
The wrong way.
It could be that God wanted it to...
No, it's not. It could be. God wrote it that way. Why is that? If God wrote it, why?
I tell you why I'd rather come up with a better answer, a different answer. Because God wrote the Torah and presented to us as a document which is supposed to work on a human level.
Therefore?
So therefore, if there's a basic human question on it, it should bear a basic human answer.
That denies God?
What that denies God?
You deny God by saying, "Oh, that was added later on." It says specifically should not add.
Obviously, Ibn Ezra felt that way. It didn't deny
He
God.
never said that.
Rabbi.
Yeah.
So we're not done.
Oh, sorry.
So there are holes in every single proof. Support.
Okay, let's say.
There are holes, and the point is that if a person is making a lifestyle choice, and it's between a Torah life and any other life, then however small those holes may be, you can enlarge them to be your entire world. And the same thing is true for Judaism. Judaism, we try to take small things and make them into our whole thing. So it's not something that we argue against. The same thing with having other gods. According to the mainstream Ashkenazic opinion, we do agree that there are other quote-unquote gods, but those are what we call sarim, or whatever they are. So they're all really right, just they don't really know what they're doing, according to us. So then, there are holes, there are ways to do it, and then you can, if you come from the side of the evidence first, Emuna Peshuta later, then you can just live however you like. If the only way to actually live as a proper Torah Jew is to have Emuna Peshuta first, and then supports can later mold it to whatever.
Look at it this way. Maybe we can agree. You take white light, you refract it through a prism, and you get all the bandwidths of different lights, and then you refract it through a prism again, and you get white light again. The white light is the simple, pristine light of Hashem, in of itself, not yet defined. The refracted area is where you find the strands and call them pieces of logic, which are embedded in the light. And then it comes back together again, because once you know those things, you can transcend that and work with the light in a holistic way on a higher level.
Could be something similar to that.
Yeah.
I would comment about the evolution argument. You said that, infinitesimally small chance. It's basically better to believe in God, but believing in God is something supernatural. Even something that's infinitesimally small is still within the field of natural. How is something
Are you natural?
Yes.
How's your neshama work?
No, but you're assuming
Coming from the wrong way.
I have a neshama.
But how does your psyche work?
how does my conscience work?
Yeah.
I can say I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Chemicals, possibly neurotransmitters, stuff like that.
So the way you feel is that you are a person, a pure entity which exists purely and simply in this world. Do you feel that?
I'm not feeling it. I'm just saying it.
No, so I'm saying the average person should be able to understand from his possession of a soul that the soul is not the body, right? Once a person's dead, you can't bring back the neshama goes somewhere, right? The neshama came from somewhere. That neshama didn't exist prior to the person's coming into being, and that neshama transcends all of the chemical reactions which are occurring inside the brain. So what is that neshama?
What is it?
You're assuming you have a neshama.
What?
You're assuming that people have neshamas. If you don't make that assumption...
No, then you understand the supernatural. I've just given you a way to understand the supernatural. That's what I have to tell you. In other words, the Chazal say Hashem is the world, like the neshama is the body. How so? The neshama controls the body, yet we do not see how it works, where it is, how it's conscious, how it imagines. All these things are beyond our capacity. The same thing with Hashem.
Yeah. I just have a few. One basic question with a lot of little strands. What makes someone a better person than another? Because we're constantly being told
nobody's better than anybody else.
No. Well, here's the thing. I'm saying this has strands to it. We're constantly being told all these stories and Machlin, always being told throughout all these shmuzes and basic shirim that the main point in life, the main goal, is to achieve the highest you possibly can in the Torah and be the best person you can be. Obviously, if someone pushes themselves, they can be whatever they can, wherever they want to be. Now, is it saying that because someone dies at the end of the day as someone that was basically like, an engineer working for a company and he lived a somewhat fulfilling life, but he could have been a great gadol ador because he thinks that he had the potential, but he just didn't want to? Is it not wanting to do something that caused you to do it, or here's the main thing: is that people that go into, also another point is that when people go into these strict schools, my main question is why?
I understand.
What makes somebody?
Very good question. Yesterday, my son's graduation.
What's this question?
I'm explaining it. Yesterday, my son's graduation from 8th grade. The reason I missed the shiur last night. So one of the guest speakers got up and said, "You all have the potential to become great Talmidei Chachamim. You all should strive to be Gdolei Torah, to be the Gdolei Ador. Don't give up. Every single one of you has that potential." So, of course, it's not true.
Well, at that age, it could be. But
No.
High school level, that's when it goes.
No.
Not true.
Well,
No.
I think, okay, not all of them, but
No.
a percentage.
No.
What do you define as Talmid Chacham? What do you
To
define?
be Talmid Chacham, to be Talmid Chachamim.
Well, why do you define a big Talmid
A
Chacham?
big Talmid Chacham, somebody who's been through Shas a couple of times and knows a lot to say about.
So the Daf Yom is 7-year cycle. You could go through Shas 3 times.
And
for 1
Hanami.
year. So
He said Gedolim.
it's a good cover.
What's your point?
The person who's involved in society.
I'm a Talmid Chacham.
No, but you are.
I'm not a
Define
Gadol.
yourself that way. If you define.
Yeah, I find something.
Okay, fine.
I'm not a Gadol. Okay, so
Maybe you are.
in my more egotistical moments, I think that way. But
Maybe a few years, Rabbi.
so the bottom line is that yes, a lot of the stories which we tell are stories which are very dangerous because they make people believe that if they don't try to become Gdolim or don't succeed at becoming Gdolim, they're failures. And one of the famous stories, which I detest extremely, in the extreme, is the story in which Netziv heard his parents discussing what he should be when he grew up, and he should be a carpenter or whatever. And he said he ran up and promised himself that he'd be a great Talmid Chacham, and he wrote the great Svarim. And he said once that look at the power of I forget what it is, power of something or other. But when if it would have become a carpenter or a or shoemaker, whatever, come to Shemaim after 120 years, they would have asked me, where's the Hamek Dover, where's the Hamek Shelah, where's the Meshib Dover, all those Sfarim they could have written. I wouldn't have had an answer.
Those systems.
So therefore, what?
It says in Pirkei Avos.
Just a minute. So therefore, this story is a very, very difficult story. Because what it means is that if you actually do become a plumber, you never know. Maybe when you get to heaven, they're going to zap you for it. Right?
Yeah.
So the stories are either untrue, or they were meant in a specific context. They were certainly not meant to be repeated as the baseline behavior for every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Does that help?
So basically you're saying is that not everyone's going to be a Talmid Chacham. Don't think you're going to be the next Talmid Chacham. Just try to be the best you can be by whatever makes you feel comfortable enough that makes you want to have more Talmid Hashem and become a better person, then so be it. That should be your direction.
Right.
All right, cool. Right.
But at the same time, you need some structure to keep you somewhat on there.
What?
You need some structure to keep you on the derek. Hence, if you go to a certain place where they have stricter rules, and then you go to a place with less rules, are they equally the same, or one's better than the other?
Well,
or?
usually if you want to become a real gadol, if that's your goal, you're better off unstructured. Because the structure of yeshivas is not conducive to genius.
But how much structure can there be and should there be?
For who? Everybody needs a different amount of structure.
Exactly. So if you have a yeshiva full of people, should there not be some structure that everyone has to follow? Or should it be free for all?
Again, depends what you want to accomplish. If you want to accomplish a God-fearing, Torah-learning society, it's best to make kids as uniform as possible, because then you can produce a successful product. But if you want to make the kids into Gdolei Torah, then it's best to make it as unstructured as possible, so each one can flourish in their own way.
Perhaps the learning method, like, if you want to spend more time in the base, or you want to spend more time in Shira, or whatever, just more self-studying. How about things like iPod, phone, internet, clothes? Should there be structure there?
I mean, they shouldn't exist.
Sorry?
Yeah, you think
Should they exist
What?
here?
Should they
Like,
exist at
should
certain
we be
levels?
allowed phones when we're playing them in shears, or have internet so that we miss it during shear, or undress a certain way, or perhaps should iPods be allowed, but then regulate what goes on the iPod? Like, to what extent is it?
To what extent you're not 16 anymore? You're an adult. You can take care of yourself. That's the point. The point is you're not in an environment anymore. You're going to be told what to do, where to go, how to dress, what to do with this, where to go, etc., etc. Because you're an adult now. You can take care of yourself. If you can't, you have issues. And that's the whole point. You come to yeshiva to learn, to expound on yourself, to become a better person.
But you can always learn, let's say, at a public library.
So you could, then you could.
So it could. You come here to have.
I think on my own.
You come here
people come here is to have
a Torah concentration. It's Torah.
Torah concentration and.
Rabbi Isai, the truth is iPods, cell phones, to laptops are all manifestations of the wickedness in our generation. Now, be that as it may, there are necessary evils, and this probably, some of these are necessary evils at this point. But yes, they are ideally things which should be locked away when you're in yeshiva. Now, I'm not saying people can withstand that, because I couldn't withstand. I don't know how many days I go without internet. I went over Pesach, the record, this past Pesach, 2 weeks without internet. Wow. But before that,
out of choice or out of necessity?
Part of necessity, part of choice. So before that, and so if you go 20 minutes without email fix, it's hard, it's difficult. So, and I'm sure there are people who actually enjoy messaging, so they have the same type of withdrawal symptoms. I saw it in my son. The worst penalty you can give him is to disrupt his phone service, because he feels cut off from the entire world without his cell phone. So which is actually would be a good thing for him. Anyway, so this is technology is a big problem, but on the other hand, it's here. It's not going away. So you have to learn how to deal with it. The jury's still out as to how that's going to accomplish.
Rabbi,
Yeah.
You were saying that in order to make it godly, you have to be very unstructured. What would be the thing? First of all, I don't understand that at all because aren't the Gedolim the carriers of the Masorah? And if so, don't they need to learn for a large period of time in an extremely intensive, structured way from the previous carrier of the Masorah?
What, you mean they should make themselves a structure?
Well, I don't know about making yourselves, but aren't they the
Structure.
continuation of
Which
our...
Masech do you learn now? Sukkah, Makkos?
Sukkah.
How much of Sukkah did you learn?
Up to Tesvav.
What? Up to Tesvav?
Yes, it's Tesvav.
Okay, so Tesvav. So you think that by learning 15 blot in a structured environment, somebody's going to become a gadol?
No.
Right. So the structure which he needs to become a gadol doesn't exist in yeshivas today, right?
Yes. That's not the goal of these yeshivas today.
What? Yeah.
What do you think is what is necessary to become a gadol?
Sorry?
It matters less sure time. Lord, who's going to teach you?
Fine. So in other words, you need structure at the beginning in order to learn how to learn, but then everything should be unstructured.
Shiva is confusing the Gadol Ador.
What?
Shiva is confusing the Gadol Ador.
No, it's not.
How do you find Gadol Ador? How do you find Gadol Ador?
Sarah also.
How do you find Gadol Ador?
Gadol Ador. Which Gadol Ador didn't go to Yeshiva? Besides the Asher.
Chazanish.
I got a select few.
No, most of them.
Most
Most of them go to regular yeshivas.
regular.
Yeah.
But the Bali Taisus, Rashi,
The yeshivas back then were different.
they learn from their teachers.
The yeshivas back then were different.
Wait, I spoke to somebody in
How are they
Lakewood.
different?
Wait. I asked this question in Lakewood, some big Talmud Chacham who learns there. And he says the yeshiva system is not made to put this goal up.
Of course
The
not.
purpose of Lakewood is to make up a Baba Bali, not a Gadol.
Yeah, of course. Or
So I don't know
mid-level
what we
time.
getting this whole Gadol Ador business from.
It's the rhetoric. It's one of the many cases where the rhetoric is not in sync with the reality.
You said no. It says the purpose of Lakewood is not to make Gadol Ador.
Yeah, but that he won't go. He won't go up on the beam at Lakewood and say that.
I think he would. I don't know. It was a big Talmud Chacham.
Okay, maybe he would.
Rabbi, so then what was their structure? I don't.
In Bolozhin, they learned the blot a day, 3 storim, the same blot, all 3 storim, and they finished Shas every 6 years.
Okay.
So that was within those parameters, they were free to choose how to approach things as they wanted.
Okay. So let's say a person were to follow the learning path of Kerem Yeshua. Yeah? You know Kerem Yeshua?
I haven't read the book.
I forget that. Let's say someone were to go every day, they were to learn a blot, 2 blot, and they were to know it well. They would know Rashi, Gemara, Taisus. The next time they come around to the Masech to do,
They won't be Gedolim.
they won't be Gedolim.
No, you'll be a Gedolim to your photographic memory. Or close to it.
What? Chazanish had a good photographic memory. This guy had photographic Eliashib.
You can't. You have to be born with it.
What?